curse you, Bayle!
Egon. We are not doing this every time. Egon, there's no universe we are going to summon you in and you're going to give me a 10-minute diatribe. I need you to come in and I need you to fight.
What's going on? Whoa! Oh, wow! Oh, shit! Ow.
Holy cinema fighting!
Hello?
Welcome back everyone. In this video series, we study the performances of 15 different streamers against the bosses of the Elden Ring DLC. As you saw during the intro sequence, this time we'll take a look at how they did against Bayle the Dread. To be able to analyze their performances, we'll first look at their individual levels, weapons, and Scatter-Tree blessings. Then we'll check how many times they died to Bayle, and for each death, we're gonna write down the killing move, as well as how much HP the boss had left when they died. This will allow us to draw their performance graphs, with each bar representing one of their attempts. At the end of the video, we'll be able to see which of Bayle's moves were the deadliest. Speaking of moves, we need to categorize them, so here it goes. Some of Bayle's moves are mostly standard stuff for a dragon fight in a FromSoft game. He can bite you, slap you with his wings, or sweep your legs off with his tail. He can also eat you, lunge forward to run you over, or jump attack to smash you into the ground. He can even jump higher to crash on you even harder. Bayle can also breathe fire in a number of ways. The line breath is dangerous as it can hit twice and snipe you from far away. The sweeping breath can cover a huge area in front of him. And finally, the melee breath is more of a defensive move that he'll try and use if you seek refuge under his belly too often. As you can probably tell from the streaks of lightning in his fire, Bayle also has a few electrifying moves. The first one I called Lightning Slam. That's when he imbues his claw with lightning and smashes it into the ground. You can also shout to summon a barrage of lightning strikes that you'll have to outrun for a bit. And finally, he has a combo I named the Shout Combo, during which he shouts and follows it with 2 wing swipes and a lightning slam. At around 60% of his health left, he will use a move called Bayle's Tyranny that explodes all around him and transitions into phase 2. He can subsequently use that move again in phase 2, so be careful. Another move unlocked in phase 2 is the Fireball's Crash, during which you will fly up into the air, launch a bunch of fireballs at you, and finally try and land on your face. His Lightning Slam, that I mentioned earlier, is also upgraded, so beware, it can be a bit louder now. And to finish things off, we have one of the coolest attacks from the entire DLC, Burning Skies. So how did our streamers do? Well, they actually did decent, for the most part. We have 2 disqualifications this time around, with both Kai and Forsen completely giving up on the boss. I scoured their VODs and couldn't find them going back to the fight, so unless I'm mistaken, they just gave up. Kai only tried a few times, but Forsen stayed there for a couple of hours. Anyway, they didn't end up beating Bayle, so they do not deserve our time. Let's move on to 2 average performances, Elias and Asmongold. Ella was level 168 with 12 blessings and using the Death Knight's long-haft axe. He summoned Egon once for the dialogue, but chose to fight Bayle without him for a pure one-on-one experience. As you saw in the intro sequence, he was laughing when encountering Burning Skies for the first time, but he wasn't laughing as much the other times after that though.
Oh, that was cheap though. Are you kidding me? That was cheap. That was fucking cheap, dude.
He actually ended up dying a ton to this attack and struggled to find a consistent way of dodging it. This reminds me of my first playthrough, as I must have died quite a lot to this attack as well. His weapon did make the fight even more cinematic than usual, especially when he would dodge an attack and then blink back into Bayle's face. He slowly got more consistent with every attempt, and ended up dodging at least half of Burning Skies on his last fight, eventually granting him the win on his 15th attempt.
Come on! Oh, he's dead. Ah!
Asmongold was level 333 with 18 blessings, the highest out of everyone here, and using the Fingerprint Stone Shield and the Dragon Hunter's Great Katana. You're actually gonna see this weapon a few times today, as you drop it on your way to Bayle and it deals bonus damage to dragon type enemies. By blocking attacks, Asmongold could negate most of Bayle's damage, but unfortunately it would either slowly chip away at his health and consume all of his flasks, or he would get hit by some moves that are harder to block and die while trying to heal back up. Another problem is that when you block an attack, the window to punish can be shorter than if you roll an attack. Your character gets staggered a bit and pushed backwards, so you might have to reposition before being able to punish. Bayle in second phase kinda counters that playstyle, as he tends to fly away and start another move pretty quickly after one ends, so it can be hard to find windows to deal damage. His strategy was to summon Egon towards the end of the fight to help him in second phase, but with the chaos that Bayle can make, it was quite hard to locate the summon sign. So he died a bunch to the lightning slam, for example, while fumbling to find it. After swapping to the Great Katana and summoning Egon, Bayle was defeated.
Bayle the Dread.
Now we have a baseline, let's look at the best of the best. These two streamers only died once to Bayle, and they were Emiru and 39 Death. Emiru was level 191 with 14 blessings and using the Dragon Hunter's Great Katana. Her first attempt was actually not necessarily representative of her performance, as her chat spammed that she should summon, and so she died looking for the summon sign. During her second fight though, she summoned Egon from the get-go and started DPSing the boss using the Katana's Ash of War. She dodged some hits, tanked others, and Egon took quite the beating, so much so that he perished before the fight ended. Fortunately, Bayle was only a few slashes away from dying at that point.
Wait, didn't people say that one was harder than the other guy?
39 Death was level 177 with 12 blessings and using her cold-infused Milady. Her first attempt didn't go so great. She did have an interesting observation to make after dying though.
It does not like the taste of used tampon.
After that, she summoned Egon, and just like Emiru before her, he perished when Bayle was low on health. During the fight, she did get hit by some of Bayle's harder moves, but luckily, he sometimes targeted Egon instead, and that allowed her to recover. Her damage was good, and she understood most of the other moves quite quickly, and so she secured the win on her second fight.
That was fine. Wait, someone's making this so easy. Wait, people have summons and they're complaining about the game being hard?
Onto 4 streamers who died more than once, but less than 10 times. These were Shroud, XQC, Distortion 2, and Lyric. Shroud was level 176 with 13 blessings and using a heavy Milady. During his first fight, he unsurprisingly got caught off guard by Bayle's Fireball crash attack.
Oh! Whoa! 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 Hey, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't know you were gonna do that. Holy shit! That looks cool. That looks really cool.
Upon re-entering the arena, he tried to familiarize himself with most of Bayle's moves, but unfortunately lost the endurance fight and ran out of flasks. His chat also spammed him to summon Egon, and so on his third attempt, he did. During this fight, Shroud played incredibly aggressive, using his Ash of War on Bayle's face as much as he possibly could without taking too much damage. In doing so, he was able to stagger Bayle 3 times. Shroud was actually the first one here, fighting alongside Egon during the entire fight, while also keeping him alive until the end. After only 2 deaths, the both of them emerged victorious.
Being a dead little leather, he is. B2?
XQC was level 166 with 16 blessings, the second highest out of anyone here, and still rocking his heavy giant crusher. This fight went rather well until he lost focus because of his chat spamming him to summon Egon. I'm guessing you get the gist of it at this point. He perished looking for the summon sign. And then things went worse.
On the left, I don't see him, dude. I don't see him. You're lying to me. Dude, I don't see it anywhere.
As soon as he got the hang of summoning Egon, you could finally focus on the boss itself. and that didn't seem to be such a big problem for him. He was rather tanky, and Egon taking aggro meant his Achafois spamming quickly chipped at Bayle's HP. Because of this, he only died 3 times, and killed Bayle in less than 3 minutes during his 4th attempt.
Boom! Ah man, that's too easy.
Bayle the Dread.
Distortion 2 was level 204 with a surprisingly low amount of blessings this time around, only 5, due to him getting there quite early during his adventure. He was using the Dragon Hunter's Great Katana. This chose to summon Egon for this fight, mainly to try and progress his questline, as we didn't have much information about that at the time. His goal was to try and keep him alive the whole fight. He did really well in reading and dodging the more common dragon moves Bayle has, like the bites or the wing swipes. The more cinematic moves were a bit troublesome, but this had miracles equipped that allowed him to keep healing even when running out of flasks. This meant that where others might have lost the endurance fight due to lack of healing, he was able to keep going. He even used a divine blessing towards the end to give him that extra bit of HP he needed to deliver the final blow. Egon did die in the end, but his 4th fight was the final one.
No, Egon, no!
Wait, what?
Lyric was level 180 with 13 blessings and using code-infused Dryleaf arts. Lyric also chose to summon Egon, and all of his fights, aside from the first, were fairly clean. While watching his VOD, I actually realized that most people are very hyped with most of Bayle's moves, and especially so during his transition. So I think in general, people really appreciate what FromSoft did with the boss design here.
What the hell? That's insane, dude. Wait, he got his wings back. Yo, what a sick-ass fucking dragon, dude. God damn. That was awesome.
Lyric's reliance on the fist weapons meant he could apply his cold status effect quite quickly with his fast swipes, but couldn't get much damage in during Bayle's 2nd phase as he tends to fly around a lot. Most fights lasted quite a while, with him eventually running out of flasks and dying due to lack of healing. However, he didn't repeat a lot of his mistakes during the fights, so despite dying 6 times, it was from 6 different attacks. Quick reminder that he's playing in New Game Plus, which makes his performance all the more impressive. On his 7th fight, he finally defeated Bayle.
Are you done? Holy f***.
Bayle the Dread.
He's dead, man. He's dead.
You shall haunt me no longer.
Bro, he's dead.
Next up, we have 3 streamers who died a bit more than average, all for different but similar reasons. These were Kadrol, Bijou, and Ludwig. Kadrol was level 152 with 7 blessings and using the Bloodhound's Fang. He initially wanted to fight Bayle without Egon by fear of being judged by his chat for it. However, after a few fights, he realized it was the wisest option. Despite having some decently ranged weapons, Kadrol was the one who struggled to hit Bayle the most.
I kind of hit his tail.
He eventually switched from the Star Scourge Greatsword to the Bloodhound's Fang, and somehow that went smoother. He died from the grab the most as he struggled to find the proper timing during his earlier fights. His progression is a bit messy, and I initially struggled to pinpoint what clicked in the latest fight. But then it hit me. When he was using the Star Scourge Greatswords, he kept jump attacking the whole time, and it led to him getting hit a lot. However, as soon as he switched, he was using normal R1s, which allowed him to dodge out of the way of attacks earlier. I guess the takeaway is that even though another build might seem weaker, if you're stuck, it can't hurt to try it out for a few attempts, as it might change your playstyle in a beneficial way. In the end, Kadrol defeated Bayle on his 18th attempt.
Oh, he's dead! He's dead! Oh my god, wait, he actually died! Holy f***! Yo, that harpoon at the end was crazy! That harpoon at the end was crazy by him! You're f***ing crazy! You're crazy, bro!
Bijou was level 156 with 11 blessings, and like Lyric before her, she was using cold dryleaf arts. I think Egon made quite the impression on her, as she initially wanted to fight without summons, but then changed her mind.
Can I please just fight with him, please? He's so funny. I love him. Yes, okay, thank you.
The funny thing is, I wrote the casual segment of this video before really inspecting her performance, but I think the same observation applies to Bijou. She was using the Starline Sword Ash of War too much and wasting a lot of heals doing so. Because of that, her performance kinda stagnated. As soon as she swapped to the Dryleaf Arts, she did significantly better. Another problem is that when Egon tanks Bayle's second phase moves and eventually dies, Bayle fully locks in on the player, and that can catch them off guard, as they didn't get an opportunity to learn the moves beforehand. The grab killed her the most, mostly because it could kill her even if she was close to full health. After Bijou died 18 times, Egon decided to just take care of things by himself.
Oh! Oh!
Bayle the Dread, you shall haunt me no longer.
Yay!
Ludwig was level 135 with 4 blessings and wielding the Dragon Hunter's Great Katana. He summoned Egon so many times that he got his speech memorized word for word. It was quite impressive, to be honest.
Curse you, Bayle! I'll riddle thee with 1,000 spears!
Ludwig died the most to Bayle's grab attack, but also quite a bit to the lightning slam and the shout combo, some of the scariest attacks in phase 1. Actually, 70% of his deaths were in phase 1, the highest out of anyone here. This is mainly due to the fact that he was trying to summon Egon later into the fight for a few attempts. His graph is all over the place, and I feel like his lack of consistency during that fight is due to him using the Katana's Ash of War, as he was performing way better once he ran out of mana and started using normal attacks. When he finally defeated Bayle after dying 36 times, I couldn't help but laugh, as his Egon didn't seem to want to leave his game.
Come on, Bayle! Curse ye!
Bayle the Dread, you shall haunt me no longer.
He's low-key just taunting on him, right?
Now, most people so far have summoned Egon, and we've seen that it makes the fight significantly easier, not only because of his voice acting, but because he deals a decent amount of damage and helps with staggering the boss. He also sometimes takes aggro, which helps when dealing with huge damaging moves like Burning Skies. The last 2 streamers we're taking a look at chose not to summon Egon to fight Bayle, and they both had a small debuff on top of that. We're finally gonna take a look at Point Crow, who played the fight in New Game Plus, and Miss Mika, who fought with 0 Scatter Tree Blessing. Let's start with Point Crow. He was level 164 with 8 blessings and using the Bloodhound's Fang and Morgoth's Cursed Sword. You know how sometimes dying to a boss over and over again can be a great lesson in humility? Well, Point Crow did have to experience that while fighting Bayle. It wasn't because of the game though.
Is this DLC? What's the first word of the title? I feel like it can't read. What's going on? What's happening, guys? Like, Jesus Christ! Do I have to read it for you? Do I have to feed your food? Do I have to chew it up and spit it in your mouth so you can eat, consume it, and then everything else? Do I have to play take my hands around your heart and then pump it for you? Squeeze your heart? You know? Do I have to do that? What's going on here? Do I have to puppeteer attach strings to your hands so I can play it for you? Oh, the Twitch title doesn't say DLC. What do you think about? Okay, maybe I'm. Don't say bro can't. I'm putting in the title right now. I swear to God. I swear to God.
I really like Point Crow's performance this time around as it was quite consistent. He struggled a lot early on, it died quickly to Bayle's first phase, often to moves like the grab or the lightning slam. Once he learned the moves, he was reaching phase 2 in most fights, and now had to learn the new ones Bayle develops. That resulted in a lot of deaths to Burning Skies. After he got familiar with those, it was only a matter of time until he got the kill. He did die 95 times and still got some terrible attempts towards the end, but when he finally locked in, he emerged victorious.
Yes!
Oh my god. Look at my health bar. Look at my health bar. I greeted that all the way to the end. I'm never learning anything.
Miss Mika was level 180, once again with no blessings whatsoever, and using the rusted anchor. Actually, she switched her weapon around more than 15 times over the course of her attempts, which is definitely a record in this series. She tried the katana, the great stars, and the backhand blades, but eventually settled on the anchor.
What if I try this?
As opposed to Point Crow we just looked at, Mika primarily died to Burning Skies, as there was no way for her to survive it if she made a mistake. The melee breath was also troublesome, as Bayle can sometimes quickly do it after hitting you and you might not have enough time to get out of the way. It's actually somehow surprising that it's the first time we find her at the end of the leaderboard, considering she's fought every boss with no blessings. Damage from the boss is way higher, and fights are way longer like this, so you really need to master every aspect of the fights. As you can see from her graph, her performance stagnated for a while, as it was harder to learn the second phase moves when getting there is slow and they kill you in one hit. She didn't give up though, and after dying 126 times, she fell the mighty dragon.
We need to not die also. That's also part of it. Woo! Bayle the who? Bayle the Dread.
Now that we've gone through everyone's performance, we can see what the global stats were. Obviously, they're heavily carried by Point Crow and Mika, but it seems pretty reasonable to assume that high damaging moves like the grab and Burning Skies are the main sources of deaths for most players. The lightning slam seems to have been a problem too, since it killed a lot of people after they got caught by an attack and tried to heal or ran out of flasks. Reception for Bayle was pretty incredible, and aside from the two people who gave up, it seemed to have made quite the impact. But there's one boss that is even more memorable than Bayle. One boss that most of these streamers spent hours, if not days, fighting. One final boss. One final statistical analysis of Shadow of the Earth Tree. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for Promised Consult Radahn.